You're about to hear one of the most heart-wrenching, tragic cases anybody's ever heard in this courthouse. You're gonna hear about Jamie Faye on one side, you're gonna hear about Darren Lopez on the other side, and in the middle, you have Jennifer Faye.
Darren Lopez intentionally and knowingly caused the death of James Faye.
Mr. Sanchez, how does your client plead, guilty or not guilty?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, not guilty.
Darren Lopez, a retired and disabled Army vet, is charged with the 2020 murder of Jamie Faith, the husband of his former high school girlfriend, Jennifer Faith. The prosecution claims Lopez willingly and intentionally shot and killed Jamie. But his defense team argues Lopez, who suffered a traumatic brain injury while serving in Iraq, was deceived by Jennifer into believing that Jamie was going to kill her.
This all began with a man being gunned down outside of his home in the Oak Cliff area of Dallas, Texas. 7:30 in the morning, James Faye and Jennifer Faye leave to walk their dog like they normally do. And before James Faye can get down, not even a block, he is in front of their next door neighbor's house. He is ambushed by Darren Lopez, shot 7 times, and left dead on that street.
The first responding patrol officers that got to the scene determined that the key witness to this incident was Jamie's wife, Jennifer.
All I remember is a lot of shots. And he just kept going, and they couldn't stop it. And then I saw the person turn and just dark eyes coming toward me.
Jennifer described a masked gunman that she was only able to provide very few details of, trying to take her wedding ring and duct taping her hands before fleeing in his getaway truck. It was a black Nissan pickup truck with a white T logo on the rear windshield.
The victim in this case was James Faith, but everyone called him Jamie. He was an IT executive at American Airlines. In his 40s, married to Jennifer Faith for a number of years.
There was no clear motive.
We did ask Jennifer for her phone. We wanted to make sure that if there were any details in their personal relationship that would be important to us during the investigation, that we were able to find those. We were able to download contacts, and we also downloaded all of her text conversations.
Upon actually examining the contents of the phone, they were able to locate a text message in which she disclosed to a friend that she was having an emotional affair with a man named Darren.
Around January of 2020, Darren, who is now separated from his wife, starts looking for his long-lost love, Jennifer Faye. And he finally connects with her via the internet around March 17th of 2020. And they start communicating almost immediately. It was over the top. I mean, I don't know if there are two 13-year-olds that text or contact each other this much. I mean, it was over the top. From late March, early April, all the way to October 8th, where their communication decreases and almost stops abruptly on October 8th of 2020. And that is when Darren Lopez drives from Cumberland Furnace, Tennessee, to Dallas, Texas, to Oak Cliff. Takes a Smith & Wesson, his handgun with him, to ambush and kill Jamie Faith.
Once we looked at the phone records, we subpoenaed his Google information. He used Google Maps to travel, and so we were able to collect cell tower information, which pretty much dropped breadcrumbs all the way from Tennessee to her front doorstep in Dallas. And so now we have enough to arrest him.
In January 2021, Darren Lopez was arrested and charged with murder.
In Texas, the penalty for murder is anywhere from 5 years to life in prison. The evidence linking him to the shooting is overwhelming, and Lopez is not denying he was there or that he was the shooter. But he hopes the jurors still believe that he acted justifiably under the law, that he was a victim too.
Police learned that Jamie had never physically abused or assaulted Jennifer Faith in any way whatsoever. There was no truth to those allegations.
She admitted that she lied to him and that she misled him and made him believe these things and sent him these fake pictures. Jennifer had created the abuse out of thin air by using stock photos from Google and by using photos of her injuries from an accident that she had years prior.
You also believe that he believed that he was duped, right?
Yes, to some degree, yes.
Jennifer, she set the murder in motion.
In February, she pleaded guilty to the crime to avoid the death penalty.
She is now serving life in prison for interstate commerce in the commission of murder for hire.
Jennifer Faith never admitted a clear motive. Investigators think she did it for the insurance money, a total of around $600,000. Unlike Jennifer Faith, Darren Lopez has pled not guilty.
We knew it was going to be tough to convince a jury to find him not guilty because he killed an innocent person. And so we were going to have to convince a jury that even though that person was innocent, that Darren had a true belief that he was saving Jennifer.
Around this time, or close to October 9th, did Jennifer ask you to kill him?
Yes. She got to the point where she said that enough is enough, talking about her having a way to poison him, so she would end it.
The immediacy of the danger. That was the struggle we had in defending this case. Those were the two most important things during the trial. His state of mind and his beliefs that this danger was imminent, and him saying it on the stand is the most powerful piece of evidence that you can have.
So in your mind, did you feel you were out of time and you had to do something?
Yes.
And did you believe it was immediately necessary for you to come down?
Yes, the key date was October 9th.
She had been building the pressure all along, and that was like D-Day.
If I didn't act, Jennifer was going to die that day.
He was on a mission to come to Texas and save her from Jamie.
So you're outside the house, and do you hear the door open?
Yes. As soon as Jamie left the house was the first time I would be able to take care of the threat to Jennifer. And so I acted.
When you acted, what does that mean?
I fired my gun into Jamie.
I pass the witness.
During the state's cross-examination, prosecutors will look to prove Lopez was less a duped lover and more a ruthless hitman.
You asked no questions.
Ow.
You did no intel. It's completely absurd.
I wanted to get across to the jury that this is ridiculous.
Because it reads more like a story, don't you think?
No, it wasn't a story, ma'am.
This poor man, in the prime of his life, is just gunned down because either Darren just believed or just chose to believe this absurd story.
I was trusting Jennifer. That's the problem.
In the end, this was a murder. There was no legal justification for what Darren Lopez did. It will be an injustice if he is not held accountable because he was equally culpable as Jennifer Faith.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
I have no further questions, John.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Darren Lopez, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment.
And they came back with a verdict of guilty, which disappointed me, but I had to catch myself and say, okay, the trial's not over.
We, the jury, having previously found the defendant, Darren Lopez, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment, unanimously assess the punishment of the defendant at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 62 years.
Darren Lopez plans to appeal his conviction. He's also reached out to the governor of Texas asking for a reduction of his sentence based on his cooperation with federal authorities in the conviction of Jennifer Faith.